Welcome. So where are we today? Where are you today? So solstice is a time when there's a big building, building of energy, right? There's this kind of heightened energy, the fullness of summer, the fullness of light, busyness. And so things can feel exaggerated. Again, some of you on the Southern Hemisphere are in a different awareness, but there still is quite a lot that's happening out in the world. There's a lot of energetic movement. So whether our focus is outside on the world screen, or the energy is moving in our bodies, in our health, whether it's in our relationships, our finances, right? That there's big movement, and honoring that things are changing quite quickly. Things are shifting, and very similar, right? We had a little bit of exposure to this during the pandemic lockdown, that there was the unknown, change, unexpected, not sure what is in front of us. And really acknowledging that, really honoring that, how you respond, right? Honoring how you're responding and what may be soothing for you or grounding, or what allows you to feel your feelings, right? Some of us are going to go more into anxious doing, trying to figure out, worrying. Or some of us are going to move a little closer to shutdown, right? And there's a spectrum for all of us. And we might hit different points at different times. And again, it's more the awareness, right? Without judgment, just the awareness of what the need is. If we're anxious, if we're stimulated and moving around and unsure and not knowing what to do and trying to find solutions and figure out how to kind of micromanage what's happening. What do you need in order to get grounded and clear and focused, right? That often looks like slowing down, grounding, time outside, meditation, soothing time with friends. And very similar with shutdown, right? Where there's a fogginess, where there's lack of energy, not knowing what to do, not wanting to look, not wanting to know, not very aware of feelings. And so then what is the need there? And sometimes that may look like being outside, maybe moving the body more, getting more energy through the body. Again, connections, something that can be stimulating, something that can move the energy, breath work, different kinds of exercise. Again, engagement, maybe different kinds of engagement with friends, maybe even trying to talk about the fogginess. So looking for ways to move, just to feel supported, right? So that we can, and it's not about needing to change. It's really the invitation to move enough to find relief, move enough to let the energy move through us, right? Because there is a lot of energy moving through us. It's almost like, how do we meet the current? How do we respond to the current, and what support do we need to meet this current? So the other idea that keeps coming up is how to, right, the head can get really busy. We do live in a culture that is very interested in data, information, having a plan, knowing what to do, having a breakdown, having safety, having security, and we forget to check in with our heart. Again, this may get a little closer to the feeling place, and if feeling, the energy around feeling feels really big, how do we titrate? How do we bring stuff in a little bit at a time? How do we connect to our heart a little bit at a time? What's easy, right? Sometimes, again, nature, animals, children, people that we feel extremely comfortable and safe around, right? Simple, but allows us to move into that feeling space, connect to our heart, connect to what we know to be good and true within us and in others. Right, that connection feels really, really important right now. Music, movement, right? Music can bring you into your heart. Movement, different kinds of movement, right? Again, listening to what feels right. Sometimes we like fast and hard, but how does the body respond? How do you respond? How do you feel afterwards? Okay. And the connection with other then can allow us to more deeply connect with ourselves. Connect to, right, that part of what is, there's almost a sense of reclaiming our connection to ourselves. There is a lot of distraction in our culture. So how do we come back to this desire to know ourselves? And some of us felt that again during during times when, right, we had a lot of that in 2020, where there was times where we were home, unless you were on the front line, many of us had more time alone or more time without the busyness. And can you remember, again, it might have been really uncomfortable, but that coming to find, maybe it's understanding that you needed a change. Maybe you needed to change circumstances just because circumstances were changing. But a deeper connection to what your needs were, what your desire was, what was easier on the system, on the finances, and the job market, in relationships. What was the easy path? Where did you get taken? And we're in a similar time. So listening, and we're even in a time that feels really rich, right? That this feels like the place to kind of weed, right? Move the things that are not working, the things that are not nourishing, our creations, and maybe we don't even know what those creations are yet. Maybe they're, again, just a response to what is coming. But can we stay soft enough to move, right? To do the dance with. When something comes at us, how do we move with, allow it to flow, allow it to move out if it needs to move out, and allow what needs to come in. And this requires quite a bit of integrity in our system, right? It keeps coming back to our foundations. Really simple, but not so easy. Right? Where are we? What do I need? What do we need? How do we feel our feelings? What support do we need to get there? And then finding time to imagine, right, that little kid, imagine if I could do anything, if we could have a world like this, if I were in charge, I would do this. If I could have what I wanted, I would do this. If I could change whatever it is, whether it's small and in your life, whether it's a change in relationships or change with time with people or change with, right, how the community organizes or communicates, or change in law, or change in church or spiritual community or politics, what is it that you imagine? What do you see? What do you feel? What feels important to create and build? And this thing is, we spend a lot of time maybe wondering how we could be helpful or what our purpose is or how could we make change. Maybe there's a place of feeling hopeless or helpless, not being able to do anything. But what I often overlook in myself is, what are my innate skills? What am I good at? What just comes naturally to me? And some of it may not be the things that I make money at, but they're still really good skills that right? I have skills on just anchoring other people, allowing them, listening to them, allowing them to have a space to be heard. I'm really good at allowing people to find health in their bodies or ease from pain, or a different way of moving, or clarity about how they're moving to build strength and to build vitality. Like, those are seemingly simple, but they're incredibly helpful. And what is your innate skill? Right? Again, listening, being able to even be steady with somebody else who doesn't know how to be steady in the moment, and anchors them, right? Shifting our consciousness. Maybe it's organizing somebody, maybe it's helping somebody get clarity. Maybe it's building or growing food. Maybe it's kindness or unconditional love. Right? What is your innate skill? What is just coming from you without you even thinking about it? That is your gift. And all of this support is really to give you enough support so that you can offer more of that we can all build from this place of goodness. It doesn't matter what other people are doing, right? It really is a place of creating what we want to be around. And it's easier said than done. And it's stuff that it's a quality that I still struggle with, right? There is much that I want to see different. Then how do I step into being different and holding myself accountable? Or those are interesting words, but how can I sit in that place of not judging myself, not judging others, offering kindness, offering ease to myself and to others? And yours may look totally different, right? Maybe your skills with children or with older people or with babies or with beauty. There's no right answer, but your contribution matters. Your beauty matters. Your essence in the world matters. Who you are matters. The people that you love, you matter to them. Right? We all matter. One of the things that makes me sad in this world is seeing when people don't feel like they matter. When I know that I have spent time of my own in a family where many people didn't feel like they mattered. So I leave that with you, just to sit with and to feel with, and finding the practices. Let's actually finish with just a short breath practice. So we're going to do a breath Paloma. Inhale. You can do it with me. Inhale a little more. Inhale a little more and exhale. And again, inhale. Inhale a little more. Inhale a little more. And exhale. Let's try exhaling through the mouth, a very diffuse exhale, almost like you're fogging a mirror. Inhale. Even put your hand on your belly. Inhale a little more. Hand on solar plexus or heart. Inhale a little more. And exhale. Good. Imagine your feet, your hips, that connection to whatever you're sitting on or standing on, whatever your feet are connecting to, just that sense of ground, that stability under you, that connection to the earth beneath your structure. Let's do 2 more. And that sense of inhaling, and whether it's this kind of expanding within your own body or beyond your body, and then letting the exhale bring you back to the earth. So you feel that kind of up and then coming back home. Expansion, opening, and coming back home. So inhaling, and inhale more, and inhale more, and exhale. Inhale again. Inhale. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Hand on belly or hand on heart or one on each, just feeling your body, this animal body. Notice when you come up with a story around your body or your breath. And just notice where you are. Notice the breath and how it's moving. Notice the shoulders, how they're tight, how the neck is tight, doesn't matter. Just notice, just be with your own experience. Sometimes that's the easiest place to start and the most profound. Namaste.